And I'm at that point where it's like, I don't want what anybody else has. I just want what God has for me. Is this where I thought I would be at 29? Hell no. It don't have to make sense to anybody but you, because I know that on the other side of this is the life I want to have. Like, don't be arguing with people whose ceiling is your floor. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Nelly V. Hope y'all are doing well. In today's video, I am going to be talking about what I learned this year, how I failed, how I'm getting back up again, lessons that I learned this year, just everything. This was such a transformative year for me, y'all. It wasn't a year where I took a lot of like public wins and, you know, everything was sunny. It was a year of deep reflection, transformative change. Like, a lot of things happened, and I'm always going to be grateful for 2024 teaching me a lot of things. So that's what this video is for. There was new lessons, there was old lessons that got reinforced this year. Either way, I'm going to be talking about it, sharing little gems, and helping you guys, you know, internet big sister. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, one thing about growth is that it can be very painful. Like, you're shedding old things, trying to make room for the new. You're losing your taste for the old things, but you're not quite ready to accept the new things. And so I wanted to make this video to hold space for who I was this year and who I'm becoming. While the year was going on, I couldn't see the beauty in it, and it's only now at the end that I can look at how far I've come. I can look at everything that has transpired, and I can see good in it. I mean, I started to see good in it around, like, you know, Q3, but it was looking bleak. It was looking crazy. But I'm so grateful to God for keeping me, for covering me. And if the only thing that you did this year was survive, if the only thing that you did this year was survive, I'm with you. Let's thank God for that, and let's pray for an abundant 2025, because we're stepping into abundance. We're stepping into everything God has called us to be, and I'm excited for that. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna be getting ready while I'm doing this video. Just a little slight makeup look. If you know me, you know I'm not the best multitasker. However, we're all about trying new things, and I'm just like, let's do a little, you know, get ready with me, makeup therapy, you know, that type of thing. Except for it's not a tutorial. In fact, if you see me doing something and it looks crazy, just know it'll be fixed by the end, because I have a different setup today. But we're gonna pray that everything goes well. God bless everybody watching this video. I pray that it blesses them in some way, somehow. I pray that my ring light doesn't die. I pray that this video brings me new subbies, new community, and let's get it. But yeah, anyways, this is what we're working with. Pop, pop, pop. All right, okay. And if you're in your 30s, drop some advice for the younger girlies, because that's the next decade that's, you know, on the horizon for me. And I want to be put up on game, okay? I'm in my late 20s and I'm making this video for the young girlies, but I would appreciate if the older girlies can put me up on game so that I don't have to make these types of videos, okay? All right. Anyways, let's go. Right, getting my primer. Okay, I didn't write these in any particular order, so I'm not really sure how I want to start. All right, let's start with the basic one. Knowing when to leave, okay? That's a job, that's a relationship, that's anything. Knowing when to leave, knowing when you have outgrown a space and it's no longer for you. Now, this lesson, I thought I had learned it. I really thought I had learned it, but this year it became evident again. It became reinforced, okay? You know when you need to leave a space, okay? You start feeling uncomfortable. A lot of times your body will tell you even before you know, like your nervous system is regulated around this person, or when you're going to work, you're feeling extremely unmotivated, extremely burnt out. just you're not feeling comfortable. You have to lean into those feelings, y'all. You have to lean into those feelings because your body is there to protect you, okay? If you're feeling like I am no longer growing in this place, I am exhausted, my needs are not being met, those are some of the signs that it's time for you to go. There are some things that are meant to be seasonal that we prolong because we think it's supposed to be for a lifetime. We think it's supposed to be, you know, forever and ever. But speaking from experience, it's never a cut and dry situation. It's never like, oh, it's easy to leave, you know, even when you feel like you're not being valued in a place, or, you know, your needs are not being met. It's not easy to walk away. But I encourage you to really spend time with yourself, really reflect on your values, what's important to you, if where you're at is where you need to be. But you will stagnate your own growth by not moving forward. You have to leave. It's for your growth. Like, it's for your growth. That's what I've learned. Like I said, your body will tell you before you even know. I was seeing the physical manifestation of stress be in my symptoms. My hair was thinning, my hair was breaking off, and I have thick hair, so like I notice any little change that's going on with me, I'm like, okay, you're stressed. Like my menstrual cycle was irregular or not coming at all, and that was letting me know, like, girl, you're doing too much. You need to evaluate, you need to make a decision, okay? And like I said, it's not an easy decision to make. It's scary. Like, it's very scary because you don't know what you're walking into, but what's better for you is in front of you, not behind you. You need to always keep that hope for your future. Don't be in the mindset of like, oh, this is the best thing that's, you know, gonna happen to me. This is the best job. There's always better for you. There's always better in front of you. Like I said, this is if you feel like you've outgrown a space and it's time for you to leave. Evaluate and clarify your feelings. Is it just, you know, is it just a busy season at work and I'm just like, you know, and it's gonna get better? Or is this like, I don't feel like I can grow anymore, you know? It could be tough to tell, but just be sure to sit with your feelings before you make a decision. All right, another thing I learned this year is releasing the timeline. Okay, I turned 29 a couple weeks ago. Is this where I thought I would be at 29? Hell no. I'm being so for real when I'm like, this is nowhere where I thought I would be. But I have learned to release the timeline, okay? Release the timeline of like, by this day, but you know, but I'll be married, I'll be this, I'll be that, I'll have a business, whatever it is. Release your timeline. And for me, it also comes in the form of lessons, thinking like, I'm too grown to be learning this or doing this again. Like, but it's like, the way that I've reframed my mind is like, this is my life. However many times it takes for me to learn something, I'm happy that God is faithful to me, that he's going to never leave me. Like, he's going to stay until I get the lesson right. He's going to stay until I learn what I need to learn. Like, releasing myself of the timeline has freed me to be like, this is my life. This is the greatest project that I will ever work on. And I am not competing with nobody else but who I was yesterday. And I'm really proud of me. Like, I'm really proud of me. It's been a tough year. It's been a lot has happened, but it's like, I'm still learning. I'm still growing and I'm getting better every day. And who cares that like, okay, I thought that like, you know, this would have happened by now or that would have happened by now. But it's like, just to see the beauty that has been my life and the fact that there's still experiences and still things that I have to learn. I don't know. I'm just releasing myself from, you know, coming from a place of like, oh my God, oh my gosh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. But look at all that you have done. Look at all that you have gone through. And one thing about God is he is so intentional. He is so intentional. So it's like, if something was supposed to happen in my life, it would have happened. So it's like, I am on my time. Like, I am on his time. I am on my time. Like, anything that was supposed to happen, it's like everything is working for my good. I'm still on my way. Like, time is a social construct. And I've said that before. Society makes you feel like life has to be together by 25. And it's just like, that's not the case. Everybody is going to learn things and get things at different ages. There's no reason to compare yourself. There's literally no reason. And I'm at that point where it's like, I don't want what anybody else has. I just want what God has for me. I just want to know that my life is in alignment with my passions, my values, and what God has for me. I've become so in love with my life and my process, and like nobody can take that away from me. All right, the next one is boundaries. Boundaries. Lord, I have seen that if you don't have boundaries, people gonna walk all over you, okay? My friends and family, they call me Boundary Barbara, okay? Because I'm strict. I'm strict about myself. I don't play about myself. I don't play about my boundaries, my time, there's a lot of different types of boundaries. There's physical, emotional, boundaries, but I don't play about them. And I didn't necessarily fail in this area. I got even more strict on this area. This is something that I'm constantly editing because you don't know what type of boundaries you need until, situations arise. I'm gonna spray this with some setting spray. Look at the way I use this setting spray all the way, bro. I hope I get another one in 2 days because I put this on my Secret Santa list, okay? I don't know. We get scared of that word boundaries. Boundaries are just a way to show people how to treat you. If you don't show people how to treat you, they'll treat you any such way. And you have to be strict about the standards that you have about yourself, okay? You don't have to be mean about it. All you have to do is put your foot down. Honestly, y'all, I do think I want to do like a whole separate series on boundaries, so let me know, because like I said, I'm Boundary Barbara and I could let you know how to put things straight. It's all about listening to yourself, okay? You always want to use I statements and you want to focus on the behaviors that person is exhibiting. It's not meant to be personal, y'all. This is meant to protect me so that I can better show up in the relationship that me and you have, or me and the other person have, okay? Let's say the person is making a particular comment or joke that's making you uncomfortable. All you gotta do is say, hey, listen, I really value our relationship and I really value how we spend time together, how we laugh together, but there's a certain type of joke that's like making me uncomfortable, and I would just appreciate if you could refrain from making those types of statements. That's it, okay? State the behavior, state how it's making you feel. It is a hard thing to do, especially if you've never, if you're not in the practice of communicating your needs. But I find that the whole thing is freeing. And this goes both ways, because it's like, if something I'm doing is making you feel uncomfortable and I'm not, knowing that, like, let's talk about it. Let's have a two-way dialogue on how we can make each other feel like this is a safe space, make each other, comfortable. So yeah, communicating boundaries is a huge relational building skill that, I do want to touch on in 2025 in a deeper video. And make sure you're putting your needs first, because let me tell you something, the other person, they're putting their needs first. So you also need to put your needs first. If there is something that is making you uncomfortable or is making you feel like, some type of way. Whew, okay. Next thing, let's see. Okay. It don't have to make sense to anybody but you. And that's exactly how I wrote it here. Your vision is your vision. God didn't give anybody else that vision but you, okay? You have your own unique way of seeing the world. You have your unique purpose. You have your unique vision, okay? Stop expecting small-minded people or other people that don't have your vision to understand, okay? And this means being willing to stand by yourself. It's not going to make sense to anybody else but you. And that's a hard place to be in, believe me. It's like, I believe in myself so hard, where it's like, I know that this vision is bringing me to the type of life that I want. So I'm going to keep working at it. It's not meant to make sense to everybody. Other people have other assignments and other things that they're meant to accomplish on this earth. Make sure you're accomplishing yours. This is scary because it's like, everybody wants that validation. Everybody wants it to, make sense to their friends and family, and like, when it doesn't make sense to people, they might say harsh things. They might, sow seeds of doubt. Be so rooted in you. Be so rooted in you and God to know that, no, I am moving on my path. I'm going on the path less traveled, but I'm going to persist on that path because I know that on the other side of this is the life I want to have. Be so rooted in you that it doesn't matter what the naysayers are saying. Like, just move, because there's been so many times this year where I'm like, no, if I do this, this would be making somebody else happy. This would be settling. This would be, this is not what I want to do. And you have to stay alone in that sometimes. And it's a very hard place to be. But I promise you, when it starts to pay off and when you start to see that light at the end of the tunnel, you're going to be like, I'm so happy I trusted myself. I'm so happy I trusted in the vision God gave me. Which brings us to the next one, bro. Sometimes you got to be misunderstood by people. You got to be misunderstood by people, okay? And one thing that I am learning is that let people have whatever idea they want to have about you. I no longer feel the need. Now, okay, again, I'm a work in progress, so I'm not going to say I always feel this way depending on the situation, but in some situations, it's like I no longer feel the need to beat my chest and be like, no, and this, and clear my name. Let people think whatever they want because I know I believe in myself. I know that I trust so hard in my vision. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter to me because at the end of the day, they don't pay my bills, okay? People's opinion of you do not pay your bills, okay? That's something that continually keeps getting reinforced. It's like, what I gotta do, I'm gonna do it because at the end of the day, I need to make sure that my life is fulfilled. I'm feeling good at the end of the day. It's not going to make sense to everybody, okay? At the same time, just because I didn't comment on it doesn't mean I ain't peeping, sis. But I don't have time to be, like I said, beating my chest off of every little thing that somebody says. Like, yeah, it's just, I can't worry about how everybody is perceiving me sometimes. It's just like, it is what it is. Let people think whatever they want to think. Just as long as you believe in yourself, you're confident in yourself, you know that you're doing the right thing, do what you need to do. Like, don't be arguing with people whose ceiling is your floor. Like, if you don't want their life, you don't want their situation, like, be mindful who you take advice from. Anybody that you're talking to about your dreams and your vision, that they understand and that they think as big as you. I'm gonna do my brows real quick, and that requires some concentration, but okay. Let's talk about emotions. Okay, what I wrote is negative emotions are just passing through. So what I mean by that is, like, for me, I've dealt with a lot of mental health challenges this year, and sometimes, like, when sadness comes or disappointment, regret, like those negative emotions come, I am scared of them. Like, I'm scared of them because I'm like, oh my God, like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I not happy? Why am I not this? Why am I not that? Like, I get scared of them. But I've realized that negative emotions are just a part of you as much as joy and happiness are a part of you. If y'all have seen Inside Out 1 or Inside 2, you'll know what I'm talking about, because it's like anger, sadness, joy, anxiety, all of those things are part of you. And sometimes when we're feeling the negative emotions of ourselves, I'm just like, oh my God, this is not me. I don't like this. Like, I don't know how to sit with this. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. But no, she's part of me too. Sad girl Nelly is part of me too. I spent a lot of time in the year feeling mad because I was feeling sad, if that makes sense. Like, oh my gosh, like, why are you still hung up on this? Get over it. Like, you know, that type of thing. And it's just like, sometimes you just need to sit with your emotions. Like I said, like, they're a part of you too. So it's just like, let them take up the space, deal with them, and take it from me, don't try to numb them. Don't try to suppress them. Sit with them. Sit with them so you can figure out what they're doing here. Why are they taking up space? Why are you feeling anxious? Why are you feeling disappointed? Why are you feeling sad? Sit with yourself. Sit with yourself and try to figure out, like, okay, where is this coming from? Do I feel like I wasn't true to myself? Do I feel like I made the wrong choice? So now I'm trying to, make space for my emotions, because I'm like, okay, there's obviously a reason why I'm feeling this way, and I don't need to like rush through it. I don't need to like make it go away. I need to just sit with it. The reason why I was having such a hard time feeling these negative emotions is because I'm like, no, this is not me. Like, I want to be, chill. I want to be happy, da da da. But it's like, even in my sad girl era, or even in like times I was feeling sad and stuff like that, like, people were still attracted to me and my essence. Like, I would feel guilty about the way that I was showing up, because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm at my 100%. Like, I feel like, these emotions are taking a lot out of me. So it was affecting the way that I was able to show up, and the way that like I felt like I wasn't at 100%. I feel like I was maybe operating at like 50 or 60, and people were still attracted to my light. People were still, intrigued by me. And I was like, this is not even me. Like, this is not even who I feel like I really am. But that just let me know that even in my sadness, or even in my depression or whatever, it's like people are still seeing me. People are still seeing the core of me. That's a bit of a heavy one. But regardless, it's like, negative emotions don't have to be negative. They're a part of you. Accept them, embrace them. And on that same kind of like emotion, mental health tip, I have the next one. The more that we don't acknowledge the space that we're in, the longer that we're in that space, okay? A lot of times it's like, you're not feeling like yourself, and you're still like trying to like show up as the same person without dealing with those emotions. And I'm letting you know that they're gonna catch up to you. They're gonna catch up with you, because that's what emotions do, okay? They come in, they settle in, and then at the wrong time, they explode, okay? So don't do that. Like, take the time to deal with them at the appointed time, okay? The longer you do not acknowledge the space that you're in, if you're feeling overworked, if you're feeling, mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, the body keeps score. Your emotions will choose the wrong time to just pop up, and you'll be crying in the middle of the grocery store, or crying in the middle of an event. Like, something will trigger you. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not working. I'm not, being productive. I'm not doing this. But when I tell you all the mental health wins that got a chance to shine this year, because I had nothing but time to work on myself, work on my mindset. Mindset is everything, y'all. Mindset is everything. Which brings us to the next one. Your mind has to get there before you're physically there, okay? What I learned is we have these limiting beliefs, okay? We have limiting beliefs, and that prevents you from being all that you can be. Because if you don't believe you can be successful, you're not going to be successful. Even if you're working. But if deep down your subconscious doesn't believe that you're worthy of that, or it doesn't believe that you can achieve that, you're not going to achieve it. So I got a chance this year to do a lot of work on my mental health, and a lot of work on my limiting beliefs. Where does this stem from? Why don't I dream bigger? Why don't I believe this is for my future? And a lot of times it might stems from like something people said about you, or like what you believe about money, what you believe about the world. And I feel like this is the 20s in general. It's like you are taking inventory of everything that you have believed up to this point. And it's like, do I still believe it? Does it still serve me? And if not, what is another belief I can take to replace its place so that I can move forward? Limiting beliefs are scary, but it's like, it's a part of like who we are, like how we've grown up, our childhood, all these types of stuff, trauma, all these things shape our limiting beliefs. But if you're really trying to go farther in this life, you have to take inventory of your mind. Again, your mind has to believe that you are worthy and can have good things and achieve those things before you physically can get there. And I'm still working on my mental every day, y'all. Every day I'm working on it. I'm journaling, I'm doing the affirmations, like I'm trying to get my mind right, okay? If your mind isn't right, nothing will be right, okay? And it's like sometimes your mind is your op. So you have to learn how to make your mind work for you. And it's that serious, because it's like the negative things or like the doubts, the beliefs, like you have to combat them with God's word, combat them with God's truth. I have overcome this before, I will do it again. I have achieved this before, I will do it again. Like, you have to make your mind a safe place to be in. And that was one thing that I truly, truly learned this year. Like, I have to make my place, my home, my, heart a positive place to be. Because the world is already going to tell you, like, you can't do it, the odds are stacked against you, and that. You don't need to be telling yourself that too. You need to be your biggest fan. You need to be your biggest cheerleader. If nobody else is cheering, you have to cheer for yourself. Honestly, I think I'm all done. I mean, let's see. I'm gonna just put some gloss and call it a day. Let's see, the last couple, okay. Don't settle for counterfeits, okay? A lot of times in the journey, when you're in a waiting season, which I have, been in a waiting season, and I can, the video where I talked about what I learned in my waiting season, I'll link it above here. When you're in a waiting season, at the end of the journey, a lot of counterfeits seem to start popping up, okay? And it'll be really tempting to settle for those things. You have to keep a lookout, and you have to be like, no, this is not the real thing. And I have been waiting so long that I can't settle for the wrong thing. I need the right thing. So the ring light did in fact die. Okay, so, but here's the finished look. Got the fro out. Gloss, a little blush. I don't have too much more to say, honestly. Like, don't settle for the counterfeits. Wait for God's blessing that is on its way. God is very intentional about our growth, okay? He wants us to become more like him. In that process, sometimes he asks us to let things go. And we're like, oh, I don't want to let this go because it's like, I don't know what I'm, what I'm gonna grab or what is gonna happen. But I promise you, do it his way. Do it his way, because he can do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can imagine. And his ways and his thoughts are greater than our own. It's not gonna make sense to me in my human mind and in my human capacity, because God has a bigger way. God has a better way. So trust in him, trust in him. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am a woman in progress. I am learning and figuring out things just as you are. If you like wellness, self-development content, follow your girl. This is where it's at. I'm not gonna even make no big promises on what I'm gonna do in 2025. I'm gonna let the content speak for itself, okay? Because I'm tired of myself, honestly. So we're just gonna see. You gotta stick around to see what's gonna happen on this channel. So subscribe to the channel. I hope you liked the video. Let's create a safe space for advice, community, encouragement, all of that, okay? And I will see you guys in the next video.